Tropical Storm Gombe is projected to make landfall over northern Mozambique tomorrow morning. Traveling at a maximum wind speed of 160 kilometres per hour, it's expected to bring heavy rainfall, gusts of winds and storm surges. Mozambique is still reeling from the recent ravages of storms which passed through the country earlier this year.
Gombe is expected to strengthen as a result of the warm sea surface temperatures combined with moisture from the ocean. Mozambique's Disaster Relief Agency says it is ready to intervene in the event of floods. A total of 18 boats and 7 mobile bridges are on standby to be deployed to affected areas. Latest reports indicate that Gombe could influence the weather in the provinces of Cabo Delgado, Nampula and Zambezia, with the occurrence of heavy rains and thunderstorms. The cyclone season in Mozambique generally occurs between November to April. Extensive coastline heightens the country's vulnerability to tropical cyclones and storm surge flooding. More than half of the population lives in low-lying coastal areas, putting communities and key resources at risk.
Claudio Julaia is an emergency specialist for the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, in Mozambique, and joins us now via Zoom. Thanks so much indeed for joining us. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
So what do we know about this impending storm that's about to hit land tomorrow?
So thank you once again for this opportunity. I think we are all informed so far that this storm will make the landfall between late today and Friday morning through Nampula province, coastal area of Nampula province, but will also affect another province in the neighbor to Nampula, which is Zambezia province. Just for you to know, these are the most populated province that we have in Mozambique. This storm can have likely a high humanitarian impact. According to the forecast, it might reach an intense tropical stage in the categorization of the tropical systems. And the winds may reach up to 200 kilometers per hour with rainfalls in the range of over 200 millimeters in 24 hours. The different models are indicating that up to 600,000 people will be exposed to this storm and might be affected by this storm. Suddenly, these types of climate-related shocks are becoming more frequent, especially for Mozambique. These two provinces, for example, early this year in January and February, were already affected by 2 tropical storms, as you recall, Tropical Storm Ana and Tumaco, which of course pose these 2 areas in highly vulnerable situation.
So, I mean, the prediction is that this one might be the most severe. So, what kind of preparations have been put in place to get ready for this?
UNICEF, you know, as a tradition of also responding to emergency situations. So we have fortunately a physical field office established in these 2 provinces to run not only emergency programs but regular programs. So we have staff already on the ground. We are mobilizing additional staff from other field offices and also country offices and resource, particularly critical supplies that usually we use for emergency response. We have 3 warehouses that are nearby these 2 provinces, and we can quickly mobilize supplies from those points. We are already coordinating also closely with the government through the National Institute for Disaster Management and Risk Reduction, and of course other partners, to be ready to deploy to the affected areas to conduct the needs assessment and immediate response. We, of course, will focus our response in core areas that UNICEF works, so the areas of health, nutrition, water and sanitation, child protection, and education.
talking about child protection and education, I guess these are areas that you're most worried about in terms of protecting the children and helping them through this crisis.
Exactly. So, as you know, for education, we are in a calendar year now. The classes are open. And of course, given to the storm that will hit between this night and tomorrow, the government, of course, gave recommendation and also orientation to close all the schools tomorrow. So no children are going to school tomorrow, especially because of the safety measures that we need to take for this target group of the population. And in the most critical areas, especially in the entry points or the points that the storm will make the landfall, the government was today, especially, I mean, since the time that we were sure that this storm will hit, till today, the government was conducting community awareness and sensitizations to the population to move to safer areas, identified sites just to stay there till the storm passes. So those are the measures that I can inform for now related to these two areas.
What kind of health issues are you worried about, particularly for your children, as a result of a storm like this?
One of the issues that we are particularly concerned are related to the damage that the health facilities can suffer from this storm. As we know, we are expecting strong winds and also heavy rains. So the roofs of the different health facilities in the different districts might not withstand to the intensity of this storm, and that can lead to a loss of medical equipment, including medicines. So, and of course, that will definitely disrupt the provision of the primary health care for the children, and we are particularly concerned with that. But within our supply strategy and the stocks, we have already some materials that can easily be put in place to at least ensure provision of primary health service in the next 72 hours after the event.
All right, and I suppose with storms such as this and damage like this, displacement becomes an issue, shelter and finding a long-term solution for people who've been displaced.
Exactly. So this is very common in Mozambique when we have this kind of storms and floods. Usually, people that already have their shelters built with local materials, which are high vulnerable to rains and winds, they easily get displaced due to this situation. So what the strategy is for those kind of situations is to move them to a temporary site, which is safer till the storm passes, and then ensure safe return to those people to their area of origin.